Gate Pond. This is the second recording of the day. I've started using a new webcam, so I did a great video, and then when I stopped, it wasn't there. So we will try this again. I get very frustrated when I try new things, so this will be the second run for the day because I'm starting to perspire. It's 90 degrees here today. We went from spring to summer, which seems to be all over the world, I guess. But anyway, today I want to talk about mistaken identities. Yesterday, I wrote about the niche market. Who is your niche? So when some things unfolded yesterday, I thought it was a very appropriate tagline for today is talking about when you attract the wrong people into your business because you haven't focused on who's your real market. Yesterday, I went to a business luncheon. And as we were sitting around the table, one lady attending was talking to the president of the organization whose table I was sitting at, and she was explaining to him that she'd been to an event earlier in the week that was really unusual because she thought he was up on stage speaking. And she wasn't the only one. Everyone thought it was Tim up there on the stage doing this great presentation, and she was so excited. And then she found out it wasn't him. And he said, well, I have lots of twins around the world. And we all sort of laughed. Yeah, we all do. And I said, oh, yeah. I said, I've had that experience. I said, in fact, years ago when I was in the resort business and I did a little bit more traveling and was out in Virginia, I was often approached as people thinking I was Melissa Manchester, a singer back in the 70s, I believe. And it was very ongoing. I mean, daily, there was always someone thinking I was Melissa Manchester. And I'll never forget, in the big resort where I worked, there was this woman that came up, and she's very careful to approach me. And she comes up, she says, I hate to bother you, but, and I says, oh, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I said, I am not Melissa Manchester. I said, I get mistaken for her all the time, but I really appreciate your caution in approaching me. The shoe guy fitting my shoes in Columbus, Ohio one day took me for Melissa Manchester. So it was quite amazing. And it happened all the time. And I thought, wow, maybe I should go out there and, you know, sign up some gigs and impersonate her. However, I can't sing or lip sing, so that would have been very, very disappointing to her fans. But one day after I moved back to be with my kids, my son-in-law and I are sitting on the couch one day and we're watching some kind of video program. And they came out and they announced that Melissa Manchester was releasing her brand new Coming Back to the Music World. And here's her new video. My son-in-law and I sitting there and we're watching it and we're just blinking because it's me on stage singing. It's like, wow. So it was like, now I understand. And it was very funny because I started researching her a little bit more and discovered that throughout the years, we'd had matching hairstyles. Very, very strange. So then later that afternoon, yesterday afternoon, I had a board meeting to go to for this nonprofit that I'm on. And we were there to welcome in the brand new executive director. We're replacing a friend of mine who's been there for 16 years. She's ready to retire and take on some new challenges, and she's done an enormous job. And so whoever came into this position has huge, huge shoes to fill. So we nominated a committee to interview candidates, to put the search out there and find someone to replace her. So last night we're sitting there and a couple of the people from the nominating committee are sitting right there around me. And I noticed this frown on Joyce's face. And I said, well, what's the matter? She says, she doesn't look like I remember her looking like. And she looks over at Kevin, who'd been on the committee. And she says, doesn't she look different? I said, so did you guys hire the wrong person? We just started laughing because I said, okay, are you sure this is the woman you thought you hired? Because think about it. You're interviewing a whole bunch of people. You put the face to the qualifications, you interview them, then you pick up the phone and you hire them, and oops, somebody else shows up. So we just chuckled and chuckled. I said, oh yeah, hired the wrong person. Turned out they hired the right person. But think about it. If you're not fine-tuning who your niche market is, who are you inviting into your business with you? I learned a long time ago, before I figured out who my perfect candidate was. I mean, think about it. When you first get started, what are we all inclined to do? Any warm body will do, until that warm body opens their mouth and they turn out to be a very negative, complaining, challenging person, and you have to deal with this negativity all the time, and they drain you and they zap you with your energy, and you're like, oh man, you really, really want to sit down and write out who is your perfect prospect, your perfect client, who aligns with you, who is going to invigorate your organization, who's going to appreciate what your service is, who is going to have the integrity to go out there and share it with other people in the manner that you want them to, or if it's just a one-time purchase. However your market is, you gotta know who you're bringing to the table. For example, a few years ago, one of my partners wanted to bring on someone that I know personally. I know his reputation, and it is terrible. He has screwed many people over in this town. He has lost them money, destroyed relationships, just left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. You say his name and it's like, oh. That's who she wanted to invite to our business, because he actually took care of her website. And I was very careful how I approached her, and I said, well, I appreciate that you've had a good relationship with him. However, I have one of my best friends was really destroyed by this man, and I have to maintain that friendship over inviting him into this business, because she was also in the business with me. So I said, I really have an issue with bringing this person on. And so she was disappointed with me because she was in business with them in another business. Well, here's a big clue. Him and I ran into each other, and here's what he says to me. So tell me, Linda's been talking to me about this and everything, but what I got to ask you is, what can you get away with on the internet? Not what are the marketing guidelines for online, but what can you get away with? I don't know about you, but that's a lot of red flags going up right out of the gate for me. So I talked to another friend, and he said, Gail, somebody's going to sign him up. And if he misbehaves, the company will take care of him, so you really don't have to worry about him. But I have a very strong level of ethics and integrity, and I did not want this person representing our company. I couldn't do it. Well, long story short, we ended up presenting it to him because my friend was just adamant. She's, Gail, somebody's going to sign him up. I want it to be me. I said, it's your business. You do what you need to do. He never came on board with us. A few years later, I'm at a networking event right here locally, and this woman's telling me how, oh yeah, she's heard about our company, and in fact, a good friend of hers who's moved to another town is who she's going to go get involved with. And I says, well, she's probably just a customer, right? Because it was the same lady. I mean, it was the late partner of the guy that had wanted to come in. And she said, oh no, they're distributors. I says, really? Come to find out, they had moved and gotten involved and were promoting this business to people, but they had not signed up with their friend. Now, their friend, who's on my team, who wanted them to come on board, was involved with them in another business that they brought her in. They totally disrespected that friendship. Totally. I'm very thankful they didn't come on our team. I don't care if they're doing good or they're doing bad. I don't trust them. I got to have someone in my life that has integrity, that has a very, very unwavering code of ethics, and loves to give back, is fun, can motivate themselves, knows in their heart that what they have to share is fabulous, never wavers on that. So when you're creating your list or you want to do a characterization, I guess, of who you want to invite into your business, those are things you want to include. Do they have integrity? Do they have a code of ethics? Will they promote your service or your business if you're building a downline or you're building an organization? Will they do it in the same way that you want them to do, or that you do? I mean, I wrote in my blog yesterday that the gentleman that came to me to get involved in my business came to me because I'm the big kahuna, and I misspelled it terribly. Didn't think about it till later in the day. He came to me because he knows I will give him the attention that he needs, because I'll take care of him, because that's the reputation I have built, because that's who I am. People can set their clock on me. If I tell someone I'm going to be there at 6 o'clock, I will be there at 6 o'clock. If I tell them I'm going to call them at 6 o'clock, they know I'm going to call them at 6 o'clock. That's being in integrity. That's having a code of ethics. That's doing what you're saying you're going to do. If those things are important to you, then you need to put them in your outline of who you want to bring into your business. So when you're doing your outline of who you want as a prospect or a partner in your business or in your organization or as a client, write that in. Make sure that's part of that description, because you don't want just a warm body. It may take you longer to attract the perfect customer, the perfect partner, but trust me, it will be so much more worth it to bring the right people in than to have to wrestle with the wrong people. I brought someone on board through a referral. We won't even go there. It was the most destructive person I have ever met in my life, and I got a heads up from a friend who'd had her in her business. Very destructive human being, and just goes through people and I'm like, thank you for the heads up. And the woman chewed me out every time we talked. She didn't even let me finish the sentence, and she was chewing me out. And it's like, wow, I do not need you in my life or in my business. And I was so grateful when she just disappeared from my organization. So you want more than a warm body. You want someone with integrity, with code of ethics, someone that represents your point of view. And we attract opposites, but you want someone with your values. You want to attract like-minded people. For example, in Chicago, I was surrounded by 5,000 people with like minds. They were positive. They were optimistic. They were committed. They knew that they were in the right place. They knew they were with the right organization. And if you want to meet all those people, come to Denver, join us. $25. Get involved in this organization that is teaching me so much. And I'm having so much fun because we have mentors. We have leaders. Nobody's doing it on their own, but you do it on your own. It is just incredible. But once again, I know exactly who I'm going after for this. I'm not just doing the shotgun effect and saying, oh, anybody will do, because that is not the case. I want people that will make a commitment to their future and will put in the time and the energy to get there, because you know what? When you do, you can turn around and share it with someone else, and you can make a difference. Yeah, it's big money, but it's so much more, because when you have big money, you can step up and do so much more to help someone else get there. That's who I'm looking for. If that's you, if you're watching this video and that speaks to you, please click